This is London calling in the overseas service of the British Broadcasting Corporation.
I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany.
The pocket battleship, Graf Spee, which has been for many weeks preying upon the trade of the South Atlantic, has met her doom.
Mother dear, I'm writing you from somewhere in France, hoping this finds you well.
We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall never surrender.
Hang up the washing on the Siegfried line, 'cause the washing day is here. Whether the weather may be wet or fine, we'll just love along.
Das Oberkommando der Wehrmacht gibt bekannt. Ein im Atlantik operierender deutscher Flottenverband unter Führung des Flottenchefs Admiral Lütjen im Seegebiet um Island auf schwere englische Seestreitkräfte. Das Schlachtschiff Bismarck hat hierbei einen englischen Schlachtkreuzer, wahrscheinlich Hood, vernichtet.
The sinking of the Bismarck was due to the cooperation of the RAF with the Navy. And Rodney, which did some pretty work with her 16-inch guns.
This is not the end. It is not even the beginning of the end. But it is perhaps the end of the beginning. But the Japanese High Command had declared that a state of war existed with Great Britain and the United States.
The German Navy, so proudly built up by that smug strategical genius, the Führer, is slowly but surely being wiped out. Now the Scharnhorst, the 26,000-ton battleship, has gone to the bottom. A not unusual result of action against the Royal Navy.
Led by a powerful British escort, the main body of the surrendered Italian fleet is transferred from Malta to Alexandria.
Signed the act of unconditional surrender of all German land, sea, and air forces in Europe to the Allied Expeditionary Force.
Back across the China Sea for the last large-scale surrender at Hong Kong, where today warships of the Royal Navy ride at anchor in the harbor.
Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the port, and I'm the Gareth Major. Today we're going to be covering the July 2023 Patchnotes, and all from my glorious home office, my home man cave, I guess you could say. In fact, I'm going to make the webcam a little bit bigger. There we go, that should be right. So, today, obviously, we're going to be going for the patch notes, and I guess we can have a bit of back and forth, a bit of a discussion about them. I've got to make sure I keep myself centered on the webcam, or else I'm going to look a bit silly, aren't I? But yeah, we're going to go for the patch notes. We can kind of have a bit of back and forth, bit of discussion about them. I can give some of my thoughts and some of my opinions about it. We'll also take a look at the trailer, and then after we've gone for the patch notes, I guess we'll move on to other items, miscellaneous stuff, I guess you could say. Let's say hello, welcome to Azuma, Action Puppet, Super Slime, and Criv, who are all in the chat ready and waiting. Now, down in the description of this video is the redeem code that is hidden in the patch notes, which will give you some camos and some containers. Containers are always good for oil if you're in a clan, or fleet, I should say. And then also there's the link to the patch notes if you want to read along, or if you want to dive into something as we go through. So without much further ado, let's jump in and pop the trailer on. So that hopefully, yep, let's do the trailer. Hopefully it doesn't come through too loud, but if just give me feedback on the audio if it is too much.
Hey captains, you're just in time for the celebrations. 4th anniversary update is here with a ton of new content.
What I might do? Let's just make the webcam just a little bit smaller as we go through it. Keep that unlocked for now, yeah.
Let's go. We're keeping it real for this special update with the anniversary free
So yeah, there's an anniversary like whoopity-doo, I guess you could say.
bundle available in the store for all players. But there's much more, of course. Get your hands on ultimate crates, new containers that give you a chance to obtain rare crates.
So basically, there are now crates which contain crates, which then contain items. So if you're a fan of RNG, but otherwise, yeah, it's a crate which has RNG on what crate it might contain, which then has RNG on what may be the contents of those containers. So it just sounds like an absolute mess. And I think, as someone's already pointed out, you can actually get tech tree ships in some of these crates.
Or consider getting Tier 7 USN Cruiser Congress with more items in stock. Worth mentioning that from the start of the update, you'll be able to receive Ultimate Crate as a victory bonus.
Okay, so there we go. A bit of a teaser. So it looks like these special crate in the crates are going to be available for the first win at Legendary tier, probably once redeemable this entire patch.
Some of the new items are available for Quadrans, a special event currency that you can
quickly pause it here because it's worth having a look. We can see the Congress is available for 20,000 quandrels and the Repulse is available for 12,500 quandrels. Now it's basically been confirmed that you should be able to get the Repulse for free if you play the game reasonably well enough, complete the campaign, and do let's say treasure hunt. Let's call it that. And if you want to get the Congress, you're probably going to have to invest some doubloons into the game in order to get the Congress. Now, if you want both, that's going to put you back a pretty penny. Furthermore, if you see on this screen, just there's rent a ship. So that's another thing that is coming in this patch, but they haven't really covered it in the patch notes of the trailer. But during this patch, you'll be able to use quandrels in order to rent a ship. We're not sure what ships, but you know that's one of the things they're talking about.
spend on various goods, such as coveted Super Vive or Super 6 crates. We also welcome our sailors to take part in the special.
So there's a 4 years bureau project, but it seems that the end reward is just insignias and camos and stuff. So basically it's going to be a bureau project in which there's just rewards along the way. There's no big shiny object at the end. There's no ship, there's no camo or anything like that. So yeah, it's just going to be a progression and just get some rewards.
Bureau project. Enjoy the new seasons.
Okay, it's interesting they show a bit of ranks here. They don't really do that too often. But the interesting thing here is, if this screenshot is correct, there's only 6 ranks. So they're probably going to be very short ranked sprints. Now, obviously, more details about ranked will be forthcoming in the special blog post. As one of the things they've done with these patch notes nowadays is they put a lot of it into separate blog posts that come along the way. Now, whether that's so they can control the release of information and things like that, and therefore they don't have to put so much effort into the patch notes, potentially. And also, I guess it gives the community something constantly to keep looking forward to. There's going to be a blog post about this, blog post about that. You know, it means we're constantly getting information from, rather than it just being one big dump and then nothing for the rest of the patch. So in some regards, this kind of control information that they're doing does kind of make sense.
Of ranked battles. Stay tuned. This summer, we prepared a special web event with...
So those of you who've been here playing for a good couple of years, which way do I need to move this way? I'm going, yeah, those of you who've been playing for a good number of years, you'll be familiar with this. This is the treasure hunt or the Christmas tree event kind of thing, where basically you play the game, you get a key for getting a win a day or for completing a couple of missions a day. Could get a couple of keys potentially. You can buy keys for credits and doubloons. I'm using those examples. I'm not saying that's how it's going to be, but you can get keys so you can then unlock boxes and things like that, and work your way through and basically open all the boxes.
Free gifts for every player. Collect keys to open cells and gain celebratory rewards.
So there you go. You can see there's basically multiple batches of 16 that you open. So there's basically 48, as you can see, the 3 batches of 16. And there's also super crates here as well, I guess you could say. And you can see that there's the ability to add keys at the top as well. There's the little plus button next to the keys.
It could be crates.
Now, this shows all the rewards that are available. Now, I think it's like 10,000 quadrils, if you're interested in that. And then there's also a mix of containers and other things like that.
Camos or up to 10,000 quadrands total. Don't forget to play.
So you have turned 32 keys by completing daily missions. So basically, now I don't know if that's the total amount you can get. You'd think 5 weeks, 5 sevens would be 35. So you think if it was just dailies, you could get 35 keys. And there's nearly 48 in order to do the whole lot. So let's see, I guess.
Every day to open new gifts. The Italian summer is at its full blast. Join the new campaign with Italian premium battleship.
Now, I don't know if it was just me, but this part of the trailer, I'm just going to rewind it back. But for those of you who are fans of Starship Troopers, please tell me, does the music to this part of the trailer sound like the Klendafu drop music from Starship Troopers?
Gifts. The Italian summer is at its full blast. Join the new campaign with Italian premium battleship Giuseppe Verdi serving as the ultimate prize. This Italian beauty carries huge guns as her main battery with SAP secondaries alongside and has enough speed and agility to outmaneuver her enemies. Try her yourself. Captains, with even more good news, the training mode makes an entrance to World of Warships Legends. You can now create training battles with your friends without affecting stats or your credit savings, and master a perfect playstyle for your future clashes. Finally, good news for all the fans.
There's something here which is quite good. Sorry.
And master a perfect playstyle for your future clashes. Finally, good news.
No, not this one. Not this one. Nope.
Azure Lane Commander.
No, this one. Right. Where I am now. Right. Let me just disappear. Right. You'll see where the web camera just was. Oh, isn't this all blurred? I wonder what could possibly hear. Azure Lane Otago. They're so cheap. They haven't bothered to update the art from the first wave of Azure Lane. So basically, they're not allowed to provide Azure Lane Otago due to the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP's censorship rules. So in order to not annoy the Chinese and have their game banned in China, they've decided just to withdraw Azure Lane due to some controversy. And so what they've done is they just blurred her out. So no, even though in the trailer they say all Azure Lane commanders, all waves, they quite blatantly forget to mention that Azure Lane Otago is not coming back, and I don't think it's even mentioned in the patch notes either. I don't think. But yeah, that was just a bit of fun, and thanks to Crib for spotting that. Actually, that was it was quite funny.
Ships and skins from all the waves are once again available to obtain in the store starting from July 31st. Get a chance to impress your teammates with a unique look or pick up one of the coveted items you might have missed. Practice makes perfect, captains. Join the celebrations and turn the tide.
there you go. There's the Patchnotes trailer. So hopefully, I guess we've discussed it. We've gone over it a bit. Well, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to unmute the desktop and let you listen to some lovely music, I hope. Let me know if it's too loud, too quiet, and I'll tweak it as I go along. But in the meantime, let's quickly catch up with the chat. Super Slime, yay, fourth Oleg, yep. Yeah, the Russians love their Oleg, don't they? And Crib, oh yes, Crate and the Crate, or a Super Slime. There's RNG squared, yeah. Oh, this chair's a bit squeaky. I should have thought about changing the chair. A slot machine within a slot machine. The brave new world, indeed. Yes, crates within crates. Interesting. A crate babushka. Let me just do that. See if that makes it better. Azuma, Repulse is a free ship while Congress's wargamers exit to saying, "Hey, Sergey, how do we get the Americans to spend more?" Oh, I know, Congress. Yeah. You gotta keep milking your main audience, you know. money. Crib confirmed that both ships can be obtained if you have Amity backing. So you're going to get 19,000 quadrilles from the treasure hunt and the campaign, which means you're going to be 13,500 quadrilles short. I guess they're going to give quadrilles out in ranked as well. Yeah, I don't know. Don't quite know. Oh, sorry, I just ate before streaming. Bad idea again. Anna Jang, treasure hunt, Christmas tree, everyday events feel weird and gross, but I'm not sure why. I think it's because you have to access them inside a separate mode. That's the issue. I think because you have to access it on a website, it's kind of it's not all in one package. It's not on the console. You're having to go to almost what feels like a third-party website to get that additional information. The confirmation can be thanked to Superslime. He popped the question. Oh, fair enough. The Italian summer is at full blast. Literally, Italy is burning under the 50°C heat. Yes, it's been pretty bad. And Ryan Chang, fire the script writer. Yeah, you could do. Right. Hopefully, this chair won't be too squeaky. If not, I'm going to have to WD-40 the chair in future. It's getting a bit old anyway. So, on to the patch notes, and like I said, link and redeem code all down in the description if you want to follow along, and let me know if the music's too loud or too quiet as we go along, and hopefully, yeah, everything should be fine. Man, I don't know about the music that he used for Giuseppe Verdi. I'm not a fan of Starship Troopers or Robert Heinlein, for that matter. Oh, that's fair enough. To me, it just sounded very similar to the Kalandafu drop. But yeah. Okay. So, obviously, it covers the maintenance times. It's the typical stuff, and I would still consider this to be subject to change when it comes to the times, because they seem to always take a little bit too long. Or sometimes patch doesn't go too well, and considering they're dropping something like training rooms, I'd say expect this maintenance period to take longer than they are saying. Update size, 4.8 gig, 4.9 gig, 4.9 gig, 800 meg, 1 gig plus 1.36 gig. Of course, they always keep pushing the mobile. Although I kind of feel like mobile's kind of falling a bit more to the wayside. I don't know. It kind of still feels a bit underkept, I guess you say. Obviously, the trailer, we've just gone through that. Zuma, isn't Congress 20k? If you have the treasure map and the campaign completed, you have just 1k short. Yes. So there's got to be ways to get quadrilles another way, probably through ranked, I think. Puts. Oh yeah, no, yeah. So you have to, yeah. If they're saying you have to spend doubloons in order to get enough quadrilles for the Congress, then yeah, you're not going to be getting much more than 19k. So if you want to get Congress and Repulse, it might cost you quite a bit of doubloons. Yes. Morgan puts it minimal effort, but gets people to buy amateur backing. Yeah. Okay. So obviously we have a very overview, I guess you could say, ranked battle season 41 and 43. God, it doesn't feel that long ago. It was only season 1, I guess you could say. Now obviously there is the crates and camouflages available with the redeem code there, and then there was obviously a quick summary there. But we're just going to press on, I guess you say. Training rooms. Now I don't know. They've shown training rooms very recently in the live stream that happened on Friday past, and be aware it's very limited in what it can and can't do. It is very, very basic. And in some regards, it's so basic, it should have been in the game 4 years ago. But at least we finally got it. It's only 4.5 years too late, but we finally got it. Well done, Wargaming. Yeah, so they finally added a mode where basically a user selects a ship, goes into... So you have to select your ship first. Okay, so you're going to have to go to standard and pick which ship you want. Almost, I think. Well, no, you go into training rooms, you then pick your ship, and then it brings up this menu. And this is where you can then pick the map, you can pick the game mode, you can pick the duration of the game. That's about it. Once you've done that, it then creates the room, and you're stuck with the ship that you selected going in. The room is then named after your user, and players have to then scroll through a massive list of all users who have a training rooms active to find your room with your name. Okay, anyone can enter into the room and they get put into a waiting zone. Okay, that waiting zone, let's say it's 20 players. I think 20. I think that sounds like a fair number. 20 players. But remember, when you're searching for training rooms, there is no search function. Okay, so you're gonna have to go through them one by one, scrolling down, trying to find it. Right, have fun, chaps. Right. Well, once you get in there and you're in the waiting zone, then it's basically you can kind of then pick your ship, and then the person who's created the room can drag players from the waiting zone into the, the player list to go into the battle. Can assign them to teams and can add bots if the bots are going to be active or inactive and things like that. And so I guess that's it. It's very simple. It's very limited, but it does mean that now finally there's going to be a zone in which players can test ships, test tactics, play together in a slightly more competitive way if they feel like it. What's Congress? Nerf Tulsa, Salem, or Baltimore, or something between? We'll come to that, but I'm sure that, yeah, the chat's already whisking through it, I guess you could say. So, cracking on, obviously, training rooms drops at the start of the patch. Anniversary celebrations, this literally just talks about Seasoned Veteran Bundle. Now, interesting, it says it's going to be available in the platform store starting Monday, which possibly means that you have to have PlayStation Plus in order to get it. So that's one thing that's worth mentioning. So basically they're trying to get lots of people to get PlayStation Plus to get another OLEG. So we have OLEG B, we have OLEG, we have Aurora, we have Bagatori, and now we have OLEG A. So I think is this the 5th OLEG class cruiser in the game? Birthday Bureau, again, doesn't really talk about it too much. It arrives on the it will depreciate basically, so you have to start it before the end of this patch. Okay, make a note of that. You're gonna have probably the first day of the patch, as soon as you log in, just switch your Bureau project over to this one. Make sure you've got it started, tick it over a little bit. I think maybe make sure you complete like a stage or 2 maybe, and then you can switch it back if you want, if you're after something else, but you have to make sure you started it. Okay, now the 3 new projects will take a look at the biggest milestones of the past legendary year, the crates, prizes. Yeah, it's basically just a look back over the years, what they did last time. Coin Draws as your keyword. This update introduces a new basic, let's call it a campaign currency, which will be earned in different ways. Again, broken down into its own separate blog post. American tier 5, 6, 7 Cruiser of the Congress, and the British Battle Cruiser tier 5 Repulse, also Super 5 and Super 6 containers. Super 5 does have the exclusive Japanese destroyer Shinomi. Shinomi is rubbish. Okay, it's nothing special. It's a premium Fubuki, but worse. Okay, so don't worry about trying to get that. The tier 6 has the Yukazi. The Yukazi actually, I think she's no longer available. I think she's a rare one, so she might be interesting. Treasure Hunt web event. So obviously this is where we were talking about how it's a separate web event. This is starting on July 26th, and obviously you can earn. So that's not quite straight away on the patch. That is delayed by 2 days, which might explain why we haven't got quite. Why it's 32 daily missions, not 35, because it's starting a bit later, and obviously it gives the opportunity to earn 10,000 quandres, whatever you want to call it. Now, Ultimate Crates is basically this thing where we're talking about a crate within a crate, and it says you only receive oil from obtaining the Ultimate Crate, not the container inside the crate. So there's no potential of doubling up on oil. Shame, really. That could have been a nice way for them to really, make them a bit more tempting. But yeah, apart from that, it's basically crates from the previous year. And some of those crates potentially might even have tech tree ships in if they're related to a tech tree event, I guess you could say. Windrose and first win, as always, basically the festive Windrose bonus. Basically, the first time you get a win, you'll get some basically an additional reward. That could be, for example, like we've seen, super crates. It could be things like Commander XP, insignias, promotion orders, universal accommodations, things like that. Granting bonuses for first win of the update. Remember, it's only in the update, not per day. So only redeemable once per ship per this one campaign, okay? From tier 4's legendary tier. With legendary tier ships awarding one ultimate crate. Whoopity-doo. Moreover, the first win bonus will improve to 5 times XP August 14th to August 21st. Basically, the main celebration, the main birthday of World Warships Legends. Like I say, it's full release. Detailed breakdown of these rewards and stuff will be published on Monday. Okay, so deferred to a later date. There's a birthday port. Whoopity-doo. I'll be switching straight back to Ocean as soon as the patch drops, I guess you could say, because I don't like too much junk going on in the background of my port, I guess you could say. How much is PS Plus? I can't remember. I want to say something like £7 for a month or something. Yeah, just googled it. Out there you go. It depends. The lowest is 1 month, which is $11 for me. No music background. Sorry if none. No, that's all right. Let me just. Oh, I've got to get the mouse up here. Let me just turn it up then. Okay, let me know how that is. $60 for the year. Yeah, Shinomi is valuable major. Bragging rights. God, that's like saying having a knackered old car that's hardly worth the MOT on the drive is for bragging rights. Bragging rights. Oh, I've wasted so much money on the game. I got this terrible ship. Yeah, good. What did we do here? You can see it's indeed a rare ship, not available anymore. Ooh, yeah. I never play it. That's the amusing one. Oh, treasure hunt. They state no doubloons needed. Ah. Those ultimate crates better be cheap as. There we go. Well, I'm back. Oh, I do apologise. The internet can be a bit dodgy, especially this time of year, I think. Blame slime. Yeah, super slime. Oh, okay, we're back. Yeah, bragging rights is Cyclone. Yeah, it could be. I think I've just been pinged as well. I'm gonna have to. There we go. Just noticed. Super Tester. Super Tester account. Yes. Yeah, they use the Super Tester accounts quite often when they do these screenshots. OBS settings is good, major well done. Yeah, I've got it all sorted this time. So hopefully, if the internet does come out, just bear with. I'll be back as soon as it reconnects. It's not the end of the stream. Don't worry. Yeah, I'll just give it a minute. I'll be back. Make yourself a cup of tea. Take a restroom break. The usual stuff. Windrose could mean a nice oil explosion. Yeah, if you're gonna go for those crates, that could be quite nice. Go the legendaries, yeah, that'd be nice. Okay. Right, I think we're good. Let's continue. So obviously we have the Dies Irel campaign with the Giuseppe Verdi. Yeah, we'll take a look at the Giuseppe Verdi. So let me just pop the Giuseppe Verdi up on screen. Let's, now the interesting thing about her... Oh, there we go, so apologies. So the interesting thing about her on Legends, looks like she's going to have radar and potentially sonar as well. She seems like she's going to have an interesting mix of consumables, very different to what she has over on World Warships PC. So she's definitely going to be different, because over on PC she has catapult, fighter, or spotter, aircraft repair party, damage control party, and exhaust smoke. Over here it looks like she's going to have sonar and radar, which is just based off the trailer that we saw the other day, I guess you could say. Now, taking the consumables out of it, excluding the consumables, what are her pros and cons over on PC? Well, she's got good deck armor, good belt armor. I don't know if she's going to have AP or an HE, or if she's going to have SAP. I think she might have SAP over here on the Legends. Decent main batteries reverse, secondaries fire SAP. We did kind of see that in the trailer. Decent top speed for her tier over on PC, a small turn circle, and a fast rudder shift. Downsides are that she has a low health pool for her tier over on PC. She has an exposed citadel, which is longer than average main battery reload, poor dispersion, and an average sigma. Secondaries can be a bit questionable at times as well in regards to their performance, and she has pretty poor anti-aircraft capability. So that is something to potentially watch out for over those are some of the things that you need to potentially take into consideration when it comes to the Giuseppe Verdi over here on Legends. However, have to remember that Legends is an ever so slightly different game, so although we always like to joke that it is just a case of Control-C, Control-V for the dev team when it comes to World Warships Legends, it does take a little bit more than that, and sometimes these ships are tweaked, are changed. I mean, a good example of that is obviously the Edinburgh, which has a hell of a lot more armour over here on Legends than she does over on PC. Now, talking about the campaign, as you can see, 9,000 quadrants. That's probably the main thing that people are going to be looking at. Apart from that, usual guff, I guess you could say. 4 insignias seems fair, 4 commendation seems fair, 45 promotional ones seems excessive. I don't know, maybe it's fair. Only 750 doubloons, again, really low doubloon outcome when it comes to this. There are some kind of guffy crates which don't really matter. There's a patch and a flag, and obviously the premium ship at the end of the day. Yeah, so Giuseppe Verdi has no exhaust smoke screen. So yeah, this goes for the rewards. 17,006 doubloons rewards without empty backing. That seems slightly about average, above average. 2,500 doubloons for empty backing. 78,600 doubloons total end rewards. I'd say it's probably slightly above average. Obviously, I haven't got all my data like I used to. Now there is obviously 3 seasons ranked, and they are confirmed to be tier 4, tier 5, and tier 6. I take this as a potential precursor to ranked battles. I think this is them just just testing it. But let's see what comes of it, because recently with ranked they have been allowing divisions of 3 to play ranked, which potentially means that if this does allow divisions of 3, it could be a nice test bed for fleets to get small squads together and test them out, and I think that'd be quite nice. Azerlane returns, again, nothing really special. It's not really anything new, it's just recycling the same old stuff. So get your Azerlane waifu from July the 31st until August the 28th. So there are some interesting commanders in there. Azerlane Hood and Nelson. Basically all the British ones are good. The rest of them, you don't need them. Now, Azerlane Scharnhorst does have a good base trait, actually, I guess you could say, if you're going for an Axie build. Yeah, I don't really... Azerlane Dunkirk's quite strong, especially if you're going for that really quick switch reload, because with the Azerlane Dunkirk, which once you've got it maxed out, you can switch shells once your guns are reloaded in like 0.01 seconds. So basically you go, no, I want AP. You just hit a square, and your guns just go, okay, you got AP now. And you go, no, I want HE. Hit it again. You just switch right back. So that's quite a really dangerous trait, I guess you could say. It's almost like it's basically. It's for, I guess you could say it's for lazy players. I mean, a good player can really make good use of it, but for a lazy player, it doesn't matter what you load, you just hit square and you've got what you want. So it's a bit of a gimmicky trait, but it is quite a nice trait, I guess you could say. Apart from that, I can't remember too much about the rest of the commanders. I'm sure you can probably research into them. I think all their skills and stuff are available on the World Warships Legends Commanders website, which is a good website always for checking in on ship stats and commanders and command builds, I guess you could say. It's a resource I use. Just sometimes when I'm away from the console, I just need some information. Obviously, the Congress is here. So why we have the Congress? Let's pop the Congress on screen. Let's quickly grab some of the details of her from over on PC. So Congress is a variation of a large cruiser project with 7 305mm guns. She was similar to the Alaska ship in terms of her other characteristics. So she's basically a Tier 7 Alaska. I guess you could say. Now, over on PC, she is at Tier 8, so she is going down a tier, which makes sense. Usually it's down a tier or 2 when it comes to Legends. Pros, she has a lot of HP for her tier on PC. She has hard-hitting guns for her tier as well. Excellent accuracy and improved AP angles found in the same tier US cruisers on the main battery armament. Reinforces her role as a cruiser killer. She also has radar. So she's probably going to have the same radar as say the Baltimore over here on Legends. Downsides is a long main battery reload, obviously just due to that large caliber shell. Increased fire duration. So potentially over on PC, she seems like she's punished by burning for quite a long time compared to cruisers. And she has, well, she's large. She is the Alaska, so she's going to be large, slightly sluggish, making it easier to target with shells and torpedoes. So I guess she has some downsides to go with all those good sides, I guess you can say. And yeah, she is going to be, dare I say, an American fanboy ship. You're going to have to spend doubloons if you want her, just as wargaming expected. And then yeah, so there you go. They talk about radar, huge HP. This kind of matches up with what we were just saying. Then we have Repulse. I guess a bit of a love child for those of you who like British battle cruisers. She's the first, well no, I guess she's the second British battle cruiser to come to the game, because obviously we got Hood, so she's the second one. And over on PC, she also was the second one, and she came just before the release of the British battle cruiser Tetri. So this is good news, I guess you could say. Fingers crossed, British battle cruisers by the end of the year. But be interesting to see what they do with the torpedo mechanic, I guess you could say, if they do anything with it. So, Repulse. Over on PC, she's fast for a tier. She has accurate main batteries because she's got cruiser-style dispersion. She has engine boost and spotter aircraft. She probably also have a catapult fighter over here on Legends. Downsides, light armor, especially on the bow and stern. She is a battle cruiser after all. Only 6 guns, A, B, and Y turret. Despite having high speed, Repulse is not maneuverable and has a weak 16% damage reduction. Okay, so it looks like she might have slightly exposed modules and weak and short-ranged AA, which makes sense considering the Repulse was sunk by Japanese aircraft because she had poor AA. That's one of the reasons why she was posted overseas to the Pacific Theatre, was because she wasn't really a frontline unit anymore. She wasn't like her sister ship Renowned, which had gone through the refit. Repulse was a bit lacking, and so they assigned to slightly secondary duties over in the Pacific Theatre. They were always very concerned with the Repulse being attacked by aircraft all the way throughout the war. And I think it was Tennant who was aboard the Repulse during her final combat engagement, as she accompanied the Prince of Wales. So again, let's see what they say. High speed, check. Engine boost, check. Great accuracy, check. So yeah, doesn't seem like they've done much here. Very much a Control-C, Control-V for the dev team on this one, almost, I guess you could say. They're refreshing the menu. They're making the game, dare I say, more like a mobile game. That's what this looks like. This is not the kind of theme that you see on a console game. This feels very mobile game. Flashy image, big buttons for your big chunky fingers to hit. That's what they've done. So they're making the main menu mobile friendly, because you can almost imagine it's now swipe up to make those buttons at the bottom expand out so you can get your big chunky fingers on there. It's a bit like if those of you who've played Enlisted, when you log into Enlisted on the console, you feel it's a PC game. It's a PC game, and you've got console controllers, and it kind of feels a bit janky for a console player. This is good. With Legends, they've gone the other way. They've gone and made the console version of the game a mobile version of the game. So now it's almost, rather than it being the mobile players playing the console game, it's now going to almost feel like the console players are playing a mobile game. I mean, it's nice and arty-farty, but it kind of retracts from it, I think, a little bit, for me at least. But it's going to be one of those Marmite things. It's going to be love it or hate it. Right, before we jump into the balance changes, let's leave this up on screen and let me just catch up with the chat, because it's been very busy. Nerfs to Lepanto, which will be useless, and a smokeless premium with radar. Well, we'll get to that one. Azuma. To be honest, I think the two reasons why Lepanto was nerfed is first because of all the people complaining about her, and the second is cause maybe Wargame wanted Verdi to overtake Lepanto. That's very true. If you want to try and push a campaign ship, you probably want to nerf something. In my opinion, Lepanto is clearly broken. Very fun, but the nerf feels appropriate. I think, obviously, we're going to come to it, but that's probably a very similar position that I kind of have with the Ark Royal. Mega Man tier 4 to 6 ranked. I can get behind that. Yeah, very true, very true. Ranchang, all the British ones are good. No bias here. Yeah, exactly, Randy Chang. You've been following the channel long enough, sir. Zabronov, hello. For the first time ever, I'm pushing hard to get one of these stupid alternative currencies. Repulse shall be mine. Repulse shall be mine as well. I think a lot of people are going to... This is one of the things I always say about World Warships Legends. We don't get Royal Navy campaigns, but whenever we get Royal Navy ships, they're always inside the side campaign or the campaign currency or a little side event or something like that. And it's always interesting to see the player base really drives free. To be honest, it could be I'm just in an echo chamber. At the end of the day, you know what my channel's about, right? You watch me, therefore you're probably going to be very similar to me. You're going to be very British orientated in some form of manner. But yeah, I kind of feel like they always do these things where the British ships come on the side here and there, and the player base just go for it. Well, at least I do anyway as well. And yeah, it's just always amusing. So we don't get Royal Navy campaigns, but what we do get is Royal Navy event ships, like the Agincourt, like the Bellerophon, like the Lion, the Campbelltown, Repulse. It's going to be another example of that. I'm sure there's more that I could probably think of, but I can't think of any more off the top of my head. Crib Watch guarantees the Repulse will be good as on PC. It seems like she might be. Crib, to my knowledge, she's broken on PC, so I don't know. Zapanov, there isn't any. Still want it. Congress on PC was because Alaska was broken at tier 9. Incomparable with the British on PC. Yeah, incomparably nice. Ranchang, in another 4 years, World of Warships Legends won't be a game at all, but a social media service. Slime, at least the menu is fresher looking. I think the one we have right now looks old. Okay, fair enough. Don't give Wargaming ideas. I don't know. Maybe I'm a bit of a stick in the mud. Maybe I like the old one too much. Okay, balance changes. Welcome to the controversial corner of these patch notes, I guess you could say. Ark Royal. So obviously you're allowed to apply for the Ark Royal. After the update on July the 24th, you'll be able to exchange the ship for doubloons, probably about 10,000 doubloons, I think, because that's a going cost. You have to file a support ticket. You can only, if you acquired the Ark Royal before the release of the new update on July the 24th. So basically, whether that means that Ark Royal might come back in the future and they don't want people put in tickets for one they just bought, or whether you get it from a Super 5 container or something. Yeah. So I say with the Arc Roll, the biggest issue I think, or the big thing that probably need working on with the Arc Roll was the HE bombs. So in some regards, I'm glad to see the HE bombs are here. The interesting thing is, so they've reduced the bomb penetration from 32.7 mil to 19.1 mil. I didn't even know the bombs penetrated that much. So in some regards, yeah, that's 100% deserved. That 32.7mm pen is ridiculous. These bombs should not be penetrating the hulls of battleships. That's ridiculous for a high explosive bomb. They're supposed to be only like little bombs. They're only supposed to be like little bomblets that were used to drop on U-boats. So having them go through 32mm of armor, it's ridiculous. The HE bomb damage has been reduced from 3,700 to 3,000. Again, I think that's fair. Fire chance being dropped to 25 to 20%. Again, I think that's fair. That's not too. So all that seems fair. And then HE bomb's ability to disable modules reduced. Okay, that's an unknown factor. So in regards to the HE bombers, I think all those changes are entirely fair and reasonable. And so I'm kind of happy with that. The one thing I wasn't expecting was for them to hit the torpedo bombers. I didn't really have much of an issue with the torpedo bombers because I found that the spread of the torpedoes is kind of so wide and torpedoes are so slow that you never really got all three most of the time anyway. But they've touched torpedo bombs and torpedoes, and they've dropped them from a total damage of 5,300 to 3,800. Ironically, the Hermes is also 5,300 per torpedo, but it only drops one, whereas Arc Royal is dropping 3. So where Hermes does like 5,300 damage from one torpedo, Arc Royal was doing 15,900, which, okay, yes, that's a bit much actually when you put it all together. Dropping it to 3,800, that means that she's now going to be doing 9,000, 10,000, 11,400 damage. So we're dropping it from about 15,009. It seems like a reasonable amount. In some regards, I think it would have been better just to say, you know what, rather than having 3 aircraft, we'll just drop it to 2. And I would have been fine with that as well. Torpedoes' ability to disable modules, again, an unknown factor that they're doing. So in some regards, this doesn't seem ridiculous. It doesn't seem like they're nerfing it into the ground. I'm certainly going to keep playing it, and I'm going to see how the difference feels. Arc Royal definitely did feel strong, very strong to me. As soon as I started playing it, I was getting 100k damage games, which in the Arc Royal felt easy, whereas in, say, Furious, for example, took effort. At least for me, I'm not the most experienced aircraft carrier player, I guess you could say. So for Arc Royal to be able to do that amount of damage so easily, I kind of, especially for myself, I kind of thought, this is definitely a stickler, I guess you could say. So these changes seem fair. Proof being the pudding, though. So I'll definitely be playing the Arc Royal as soon as the patch drops, I guess you say. Lepanto has received a heavy nerf. Now, I haven't played this ship at all. I'm not even sure if I have it. But yeah, Lepanto became excessively powerful after the last update. So if you remember, the last update, they actually buffed the Lepanto. Let's have a look. What did they do to this Lepanto? It's going to be on the news, isn't it? Let's go to the news. What did they do to the Lepanto last patch? Have a look, because that was the weird one. Like, I came back from Japan and everyone was saying that the Lepanto's ridiculous, and then I read the patch notes and they buffed it, and I was like, oh, what's going on here? Oh, it's in here. My bad. That's interesting. This patch they didn't do this kind of separate one. Italian battleships. Lepanto, secondary battery firing range was increased from 6 to 6.25, so they buffed that. Main battery shower damage reduced. Main battery ricochet angle improved. HE shower damage reduced. Visibility from fire and smoke reduced. So yeah, they buffed her. Now they're dropping the secondaries back. Oh God's sake. They're also increasing the reload time. So this is what I don't get. Like, what data did they have where they thought this was a good idea to then 1 month later go, oh, what have we done? Okay. So now her secondary battery output is going to be reduced by about 40%. So basically they're increasing the reload time of the secondaries and they're just dropping that range back by 1/4 of a kilometre. I don't even know why they buffed it in the first place. It didn't seem sensible. Mobile. Wow. Big news for mobile. We've updated the tutorial. Nice. Bug fixes. So this has been the only touching 2 ships this patch when it comes to balancing. So there's not a lot of maintenance, not a lot of new ships, not a lot of content, I guess you could say. Console. Fixed a bug that incorrectly displayed the rudder when using certain commanders, implemented additional fixes, instance of incorrect ship display, bug that causes part of the water to be the incorrect colour. What? Incorrect title on one of the Minnesota's guns, improved display of dog tags, mobile, some other bugs and stuff. If you're into mobile, check it out, but I'm not going to cover mobile here. Other, Monarch has received a minor armor model update. This does not impact the gameplay. What do you mean by that? That's going to be interesting. I might have to take a screenshot of Monarch's armor before the patch, just to make sure they don't mess it up. Obviously, so other is them just reminding us again to start the legendary. Premiums. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so for those of you who are very long-term followers of Back to the Port, you'll remember back in the day, even before I became a CC, there was one thing I used to do where I used to release a video. I used to call it the Brucey Bonus Weekly Boost. That's going to happen this patch. So on this Sunday, your premium supplies will obviously renew, and because they're making these changes to the premium supplies after the patch drops, premium supplies will also renew again. Okay, so that means if you want to grind, or even just get a couple of promotional orders, or even still if you're really going to grind the whole day, you can complete the premium supplies twice next week, because you can complete, if you play it on Sunday and get it completed, you can then play it all again from the Monday onwards, because they're now going to be separating now tier 7 and tier 8. So in order to do that, they have to rebuild, basically relaunch the mission, because they changed it. So that's just something to note. And also, any impendium will be converted into 1,500 credits. There you go. So that's all the patch notes. Oh, let's see. Question is, who the hell approved 32.7mm of penetration on the Ark Royals bombs in the first place? I don't know, but it's but it's ridiculous. Even Arco, evening. What do you think about Repulse finally coming? Hopefully, it is a precursor to British battle cruisers. Fingers crossed later this year. Also, fingers crossed Dido as well. That's what I'm hoping. Ryan Chain, I think I read that one. I think I'm all up to date. So, any questions? Any thoughts? Any opinions? If not, I'll move on to channel admin, I guess you could say. But yeah, I mean, while I'm letting you ladies and gents do that, my thoughts on the patch, I guess you could say. Training rooms. Okay, it's 4.5 years too late, but at least we're finally getting it. It's going to be very basic, very limited, but I think it's going to be a useful tool for especially players who are going to be like testing things, experimenting with things, and even setting up like mini clan battles or training sessions as well. So finally, it's here. It's one of those things where it's very wanted by the community. It will take a lot of development by Wargaming to create it, yet the use of it is probably going to be quite low. But it's just one of those things. If you're a content creator, this is very, very crucial to being able to create some content. The OLED, what would you do? It's why I'm not buying PS Plus for an OLED. The birthday bureau, okay, it's something for nothing. Can't complain about that. Quandrels, okay, they're bringing that back. For Repulse, yes please. For the Congress, For these crates inside of crates, couldn't really care. The super crates, couldn't really care. Treasure hunt web event, okay, you're gonna have to partake in it in order to get Quandrels. It's just something that they do. Ultimate crates, okay, right, it's a crate in the crate. Couldn't really care. First win bonus, okay, that's good. That's going to get people to play, especially over the summer months when people are going to be away on holiday, I guess you could say. Birthday port, couldn't care. The Just Happy Verdi, couldn't really care, honestly. But I'll probably get them back in because I'm probably going to be trying to get as many of these Quandrels as possible, I guess you could say. Ranked battles, that's interesting, okay. If they allow divisions of 3, I'm definitely going to be very interested in playing that, and especially using it as a precursor for ranked battles, like I should say. Zone Lane, return of all the content, recycling it. I think I've got it all anyway because my stint as a CC, I guess you could say. There is some good stuff there. In regards to Zone Lane, I don't care. In regards to the commander traits and skills, some of them are very useful. So as alternative commands in the game, they are quite useful. So yeah, I'm balancing out that. Like, I don't really care about the game. I don't really care about these commanders, what they look like or anything like that. What I do care about is their skills and traits. So in that regards, it's something interesting, I guess you could say. New ships, Congress, like I said, it's going to cost doubloons to know what to get, and being it's going up against Repulse, I'm sorry, Repulse is going to win. Okay, so Repulse, yes, this is really something I'm really passionate about, something that I'm really looking forward to. I sound like Gordon Ramsay. The main menu refresh, okay, just looks a bit gimmicky, like mobile. But you know, if they want to make it arty farty like that, fine. You know, give it 4 more years, they change it again. They'll probably change it back or something like that. At the end of the day, they do this quite often with games. They change, especially for games like World of Warships Legends. They will do these very minor changes in order to make it look fresher, to try and draw players back. You know, make it look newer and stuff. So, giving the game a bit of a refresh. This is the second refresh it's had, I guess you could say. Okay, fair enough. It is what it is. Balance changes, arc roll changes seem fair, but proof being the pudding. The Panto, I haven't really played it, but you know, it is what it is. Bug fixes, okay, that seems fine. And then it's just the premium supplies, which I think is a nice little Brucey bonus, I guess you could say. But yeah, so all in all, I'd say considering it's a birthday patch, in comparison to all the other birthday patches that Wargame have done, I'd say this is probably the most underwhelming. It's not a bad patch, but it's nothing special. It's and it seems to be very low on maintenance on the game. There doesn't seem to be any, not like that. They're touching 2 ships. They're adding 3 ships. Or 4 ships if you want to chuck the OLEG in. But yeah, but I think the main thing here is training rooms. But apart from that, yeah, it does feel like quite a minimal input from wargaming. Quite a quiet patch, I guess you could say. It does. I think this is one of the things. I think this is why sometimes the community go, oh, maybe the game is dying or feeling lethargic. It's because we're getting quite a lot of these patches where there's not a lot going on. There's not like they're adding new maps or really adding new art or mechanics or anything like that. There's nothing really freshening up the game. It's almost like we're treading water. We're just treading water. We get something out there. Maybe that's because they've been putting in a lot of effort on training rooms and clans. But at the moment, we've got clans, but no clan battles. We've finally got training rooms, so the package is slowly coming together. So I'd say we're not going anywhere fast, but we're going in the right direction. Would be my summary there. And therefore, in regards to the patch, I wouldn't say it's a bad patch. I just say it's an average to good patch. It's not a great patch. It's not brilliant. It's not amazing. It's just it's good enough. Average to good enough. Let's keep that up. There we go. The HE bomb damage reduction is, in my opinion, negligible as the fire charge. Exactly, that's the thing. It's the bomb penetration that I think as well. Killing time. Hello. Oleg A, another pair of the same socks. Just what I wanted. Exactly. More of the same old recycled guff, I guess you could say. Mega Man, it's very meh. Yeah, I'm just giving it a slightly better than good. If I had to give it a grade, I'd say it's like it's a C plus, just a passing grade, I guess you could say. At least looking forward to the patches, unlike PC, who go, oh what God, what now? Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. I think Clans and TR have their developers busy. Yeah, that's one of my thoughts. Okay, look forward to Verdi and Repulse. Okay, well, some looking forward to Verdi. That's nice. The Arcro nerfs are harsh but well deserved. 32 pen is ridiculous. Yeah, no, I agree. Crib, if the servers almost collapse after fleets, what will happen on training rooms? Yeah, training rooms will collapse. Okay, just know it. Okay, first day of the patch, training rooms will die. So in some regards, I'd say if you're looking forward to training rooms, give it a week, because the community's gonna kill the poor thing. Oh. Alright, okay, right. Now I've kind of caught up. Let me just cover some of the channels. So obviously I'm streaming tomorrow, Friday, World of Warships Legends. Was going to be Whiskey and Warships with Vance Vegas, but unfortunately something's cropped up with him. So he's not going to be, he hasn't got the free time anymore to do the stream in his Canadian morning. So I'm just going to be doing a solo stream. The time might get delayed, bear with me on that one, okay? I've got it scheduled in for 20-30 hours, BST. That might change, so just keep an eye on it. Now, as I've been kind of alluding to all week, I guess you could say, my schedule for the next 2 weeks might be a bit tricky. We are hosting a overseas student for the next 2 weeks. We're acting as a host family. They're basically staying here and going to a school to learn English and learn about the English culture and things like that, or your British culture and things like that. So during those 2 weeks, I'm not really sure if I'll have time to stream or how I will go about streaming and things like that. So I will have to play it by ear. So for now, I'm going to say for the next 2 weeks, the chance of me streaming after this Friday is going to be very low. But if I do stream, keep an eye out. I'll obviously keep you all informed on Discord if you are on my Discord. And if you want to be on the Discord, then check out the Friday night live streams. I always drop a link that lasts for a week on those for you to join. They are limited to 10 users, but I've never had them run out. They should still be. They're like the one from last Friday should still work up until like tomorrow morning, I think. Yes, when it comes to the next 2 weeks, content may be a little light, streams may be a little light. I'll see what I can fit in when I can fit it in, working around obviously having our guests here, I guess you could say. No, I don't care for training rooms at all. It's overhyped. If you need company in stream, I'm available. I might catch you on tomorrow, I guess you could say. One thing I have kind of thought about the next 2 weeks is maybe rather than me streaming, maybe I might just crash other people's streams. But I only had that thought probably about 2 hours ago, so I haven't even floated it apart from while I've been chatting here. I always look out for your streams. Much obliged, as always. Much obliged. Right. Nixon, training rooms are a waste of time and money. There's a lot of mechanics that I want to try out in it. That's the thing. I think it all depends on the player. Because I know for myself, as a clan leader, training rooms is going to be very helpful in order to determine players' skills and stuff. Also, as a content creator and a streamer, having training rooms, getting people in to do like community games. Again, that's another thing that is useful to me, and also testing in-game mechanics. you can finally actually test things in the safety of a quiet game. Does your ship slow down faster if you put it on stop or in full reverse? Is there a particular points on an enemy, certain types of ship which you can actually maybe get a citadel? And can you knock out turrets and things like that? So I think, and what ranges you can test dispersions at different ranges and things like that. And also, I think whenever you see they've made errors on World Warships PC, and players have had to try and test the game to work out how have they changed the code in the background, have they messed it up. It's always been training rooms which has been used to prove it. So in some regards, training rooms is kind of useful in a way for the player base to hold Wargaming accountable for the mechanics of the game. Which CC will be the first charging for private training room battles with their fans? I would have said T-Ball, but he's no longer a CC and he's actually moving away from the game. Super Slime is saying peak. $20 entry for playing training rooms. Yeah. Ranjan, great for content and making funny videos. That's very true. That's very true as well. I mean, you see it a lot over on PC. I think is it Flambas? He does like quite a lot of community games. I think even Sea Lord Matt Batter did like certain games where they had like Royal Navy versus German Navy, and they actually had like British and German players on different teams and stuff. Melody, I'm still very confused about training rooms. Is this basically just going to be like a sandbox mode, exactly, where you pick a skirmish map and play it? Is only going to be available to teams? It's best to check out World Warships Legends Community Manager's live stream, which was done last Friday. But I'll try and summarize it. Basically, it is very much like I say, a sandbox mode. You pick a ship, you go into the training room. You then can pick the map. You can pick whether it's going to be domination or capture the base. You can then also pick how long the game's going to go for. You as the training room creator, you can select bots. You can pick tech tree ships in order for the bots to play. The bots can be active bots or disabled bots. Disabled bots will sit still and not shoot. Active bots will play like bots in AI. Players can join the training rooms and they go into a holding area. You can then select them and drag them and pop them on certain teams. It's very simplistic, but it's a foundation, it's a start, and it will be helpful in some ways. One of the things that I've lost my train of thought. Yes, so some of the limitations are obviously you can't search for other players' training rooms. Anyone can enter a training room as well. They go into that waiting zone. There is no spectator mode. So my temptation is, if you did want players to spectate, I would tell them to pick tier 2 DDs, and then at the start of the game I would tell all of them to rush into the middle and ram each other if they can, in order to then die and spectate the game without spotting and things like that. That would be how I do spectators. I'd be like, right, the teams aren't going to start for 2 minutes. Anyone who's spectating the game on their relative team, charge into the middle and ram another DD. Get it over and done with, and then the game will start proper in 2 minutes time. But yeah, how I do like spectator mode. Here a lot of CCs talking about being able to test ships, for their streams and all, but how is it going to help me? Always for AI as a training room. I guess AI allows you to like potentially, train against engaging ships, but the training rooms for what the CC is talking about is basically if they're going to get art or actually test shooting ships. I mean, if an AI ship's going to sit still, you can then test ways to shoot it. If you can test certain ships' mechanics without being engaged, even by AI vessels. Sometimes people just want that freedom to think and move and stuff. If you're a beginning player or an early player, not too interested in certain mechanics and stuff, training rooms is not going to be there for you. But if you've been looking for this kind of thing, then obviously it's going to pay dividends for those kind of players. Narco, I need to play World Warships to get tools of steel, or waste money on the campaign. Well, best of luck, Narco. In AI, you can't just choose your teammates. That's the thing. In the training rooms, you can pick any tech tree ship. So you can have any ships, or any tech tree ships on a team, on both teams. So you can then test it out that way as well. Mega Man, kind of off topic, unless anyone here has a PS5, but does the PS5 have the ability to play 4K discs? I think so. Yeah, I think so. Although I only play like DVDs and Crunchyroll. Not good compared to same tier, at least. Right, I think I'm up to date mostly. But yeah. So what I'll do, I'll just go through and do the thank yous and stuff. Shout out if you want me to grab something in my office to show off after I do the thank yous. If not, I'll be signing off. One last comment. Training rooms, I was hoping for static or moving ships at different ranges, but would then highlight hits and cause damage for accuracy tests. I think what you probably want to do for accuracy tests would be almost get the AA bots in, have them as inactive, and then use your ship, do like 10 volleys on one ship just to see how that goes, and then you can kind of aggregate it out and then move your ship closer and then see how that goes. That's basically like some of the things I'll be doing, because of course I've seen some comments about Hood's dispersion, so that's kind of been quite questionable. There's a chance that Sony killed this feature line, just like disk drive. Yeah. Thank you. That was a good explanation. I did watch some of the stream, but they were on while I'm working and just can't pay attention to it, and they don't seem to ever answer my questions. Exactly, Melody. As an ex-CC, I very much know what the experience is like of having the CMs not answer your questions. It's their best skill. I wonder if we would get a new Azure lane wave soon too. I don't know. I did see someone saying something about a wave 5, but obviously I don't know. If Azure lane does make a return, I doubt it'd be this year. I suspect it'd be next year. Right. Okay. So, I'm going to quickly scroll all the way back to the start of the stream and like to say thank you to Azuma, to Action Pumper, to Super Slide, to Kriv, to Mecha Man. Who else do we have popped by? Randy Chang as well. Zaparonov as well, much obliged. Naruko, good to see you. Nixon, hello. Melody, much obliged. And Killing Time, thanks for popping by. Melody, you got 6,500 standard games and have been playing for almost 4 years. Nice seasoned player there. Well, I hope you all enjoyed it, and we got the Siegfried on the way out. And before I sign off, actually, yeah, you can see all the manga and stuff. But yeah, this is the Major's man cave. Well, look after yourselves, stay safe, stay well. Have a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and a good night wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, stay well. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Pip pip and cheerio.
This is London calling in the overseas service of the British Broadcasting Corporation.
I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany.
The pocket battleship, Graf Spee, which has been for many weeks